taps it back. Clark wins it. Whitcomb will back it out and get it into the arms of Bird. Bird will take. You bet! She's unconscious right now. Bird will let it wide. 8 to shoot. Bird heaves. Truth! Sue Bird! It is her night!
Sue Bird putting on a clutch clinic. The top-seeded Storm headed to the WNBA Finals after overcoming a 10-point deficit in the fourth quarter in Game 5. It was a historic Tuesday night in the WNBA. The Storm with an epic win to punch the ticket to the WNBA Finals. Welcome in to Game Time. We've got the NBA champ Steve Smith. I'm Jared Greenberg. First time in league history, both conference finals games go the distance. We'll talk East in a moment. First, Smitty, though, fantastic finish out West with some of the biggest stars in the game front and center, starting with none other than Stu Bird.
I mean, Jared, this was very entertaining. We were watching this in that fourth quarter. It went back and forth, and like you said, Taurasi, Sue Bird, two fantastic competitors, some of the best of the best. But it was Sue Bird shooting the long ball. Boy, was she knocking it down, and I am impressed. At her age, but with that mass, to come up with a game like that in the fourth quarter, it was fantastic.
Yeah, she was tremendous. 14 points in the fourth quarter, hitting 4 of 5 from 3 after struggling so mightily over the first 3 quarters of the game when she was just 3 of 12 from the field, 1 of 6 from 3. But her coach knows she's one of the greatest of all time. You got to let her keep shooting.
She said it. She was going to keep shooting. She had to take shots, but then she also said to use her legs, that she got a tip from one of the coaches just to put it up. But big-time players, they come alive in the fourth quarter, and when you need them the most. Taurasi had a great game, too, in the fourth quarter, but Sue Bird, you can tell it was her night. She wanted it a little bit more, and she knocked down some big ones. They were not just threes. They were deep, timely threes, and the Storm needed all of them.
Taurasi now 13-1 in winner-take-all games in her WNBA career. We will have much more from the Bird Show. Complete highlights from Game 5 of the Western Conference Finals still to come. Now let's show you how the East was won. Game 5 across the street in Atlanta. Smitty sitting courtside for EDD. Elena Delle Donne trying to send the Mystics to the WNBA Finals. But hey, Dikembe Mutombo's got his numbers up in the rafters up at State Farm Arena. So he's saying no chance for that. But Atlanta up by 1 at the half. Here comes Hawkins. She had 17 off the bench for Washington. Final moments of the third. Renee Montgomery.
This was a big shot, and boy, she knocked that one down. Like you said, Delle Donne took a quick shot, gave the Dream some time left, and she knocked that one down. It was deep.
There's Trae Young. He's liking that, huh? Did he have better seats than you?
No, he's still a young fella. Not yet.
Off the Mystics turnover, Brittany Sykes, 2 of her 15, Atlanta 71, Washington 69. The winner going to the WNBA Finals. Ariel Atkins, she had 20 points. The tough fadeaway there.
What a catch and what a finish. Defensively, she played fantastic, came with some big points. And there's Tolliver. Didn't score a lot in that second half, only 2, but she was fantastic in the first half.
Read the defense. And Elena Delle Donne, she didn't do her typical scoring, but hey, battling through that knee injury, double-double, 14 and 11 for EDD. Now fourth quarter, Dream down by 6. Off the bench, Alex Bentley had 16.
And that was a deep one. Knocked that one down and saw the horn. It went off prematurely, but kept our concentration and knocked down that 3. The Dream within 3.
All right, Washington can inbound it. They try and call timeout, but the referee says no. 5-second violation. So Atlanta gets the ball back. Tiffany Hayes, she does the job on one end. Atlanta scores, but Smitty, 24 seconds to go. There's still a differential between shot clock and game clock.
Yeah, if you're going to foul, you got to foul early. And also, if you're going to foul somebody, please try not to foul Delle Donne. She is perfect. And then she can knock down free throws. I would have had one more trap and made somebody else knock down the free throws.
Elena Delle Donne hasn't missed a free throw all playoffs long, 23 of 23. Last chance here for Atlanta, down by 3. The Mystics, for the first time in franchise history, going to the WNBA Finals. Roz Golden-Rudy with Elena Delle Donne.
Elena, tight game throughout. What were the aspects of your end game execution that helped you guys pull this out?
There was so much going on. I feel like it's all a blur. I'm going to have to go back and watch it at some point, but I do know the play of our rookie, Ariel Atkins, was absolutely unbelievable. She did so much for us. Panda took over in the first half, scored for us, and they carried me throughout this whole game. So I'm so proud of this team, and can't wait to get a tiny bit of rest and keep this thing going.
The whistle didn't go our way. I thought when we battled, Yeah, it's 11-2 in that fourth quarter on the whistle. So, you know, that made the game like just choppy, you know, because we were trying to be aggressive and, you know, just didn't get any 50-50 calls or balls, that type of situation.
Their last 12 out of 14 points were from the free throw line. So, Coach is better than me at holding her tongue because I just can't. I mean, everybody saw the game, and that's all I got to say.
The heart, the emotion, tough one for Atlanta. So the WNBA Finals are set. Coming up, we're going to give you a preview of Washington and Seattle. Smitty, though, let's first talk about how the Mystics gritted and grinded its way to its first ever trip to the WNBA Finals.
I think first is you got to talk about Christy Tolliver. She understood that Della Dine was not going to be 100% out herself, far as scoring the basketball, but take your hat off. She still had a double-double. She came out, Christy Tolliver, and 17 points, and she had been struggling throughout these playoffs in this series, but she knocked down big-time shots, and the rookie they talked about, Ariel Atkins, just phenomenal with 20 points. But I thought the key was Tiana Hawkins. Averages only 6 points in the regular season. Only played 10 minutes tonight, Jerry, but she came up with 17 points in 10 minutes. I thought that was huge.
It's efficient, to say the least. So game one between Washington and Seattle out in the Great Northwest Friday night. We'll have much more on that, including complete highlights from the decisive Game 5 out west with a great show by Sue Bird. We'll talk about it with Steve Smith, Jared Greenberg coming back on Game Time.
It's going to be a beautiful show with beautiful people.
As promised, Smitty, we're going to show you exactly how Sue Bird put on a clinic against Diana Taurasi. There are UConn legends going back and forth. Decisive Game 5, Western Conference Finals, and look at Diana Taurasi. Phoenix out to a fast start, 16-6 in the first quarter. Bird, pull-up jumper, but she would struggle early. On to the second quarter. Mercury building lead. Remember, they had sent Seattle to its first back-to-back losses all year, trying to make it 3 straight losses. Phoenix could become the first team in WNBA history to trail 2-0 and go on to win the series. First Turner, she had 15 and a half, 19 in the game. The Griner, wow.
Don't finger roll right over the rim. Griner, that looked nice.
46-41, Phoenix up by 5 at the half. Second half, the MVP.
She's so good.
Stewart, inside. More of Stewart, over Griner.
Great footwork, just calm, cool. She makes it look easy.
Stewart had 28 points.
Easy 28.
Canada, 66-63. Seattle.
Man, look at the fans in Seattle. They're going, wow, there's Bonner.
But look at this team of veterans. Phoenix, Bonner, and then Taurasi.
Ooh. And up.
So it looks like as soon as Seattle had the momentum, Phoenix took it right back. They're up by 4. Seattle responds with a 20-6 run. And Sue Bird right in the middle of it all.
No hesitation at all. She is letting it fly. Feet set, getting her legs into the shot. I am impressed with that mass and at her age still knocking them down.
Coming off the broken nose in Game 4. My goodness, Sue Bird.
Wait a second. Now
14 in the fourth. Sue Bird, the top seed, Seattle. They are going to the WNBA Finals.
With about 4 minutes left in this game, you came in off the bench. What was going through your mind as you took over with 14 points?
2 things. I told the team at halftime, no matter what, I told them, I said, I just missed 4 threes. I got to keep shooting. And that's how we all had to be. We got to keep playing. And then young Stewie came through with the clutch advice. She said, Sue, use your legs. I'm like, okay. That's what happened.
There were so many things in this fourth quarter, from your threes, using your leg, to Alicia Clark's rebounding, Natasha Howard, Stewie. How did this group come together, and Sammy Whitcomb with a huge performance off the bench?
You know, I don't think the first couple games were indicative of how we finish games. In the regular season, this was very normal for us. For it to be close going into the fourth quarter, and then a barrage of threes, big rebounds, Natasha making hustle plays. I mean, that's who we are. We got away from that, and you have to give a ton of, Phoenix, they were incredible. That was the toughest series. series, to be honest, I think I've ever played in. They were just incredible, and it tested us, and I'm just glad we responded.
Your good friend, one of your best friends, Diana Taurasi, has never lost in this winner-take-all situation. Why was tonight your turn?
I don't know. Law of averages, like at some point it has to happen. I think we were just focused. You know, I don't think this game was about anything more than just two teams battling it out and one having to come on top. You know, it's almost not right.
You now, as the oldest player in the league, are leading your team into the finals. What is that like as you'll move on to take on Washington on Friday in this building?
Washington won?
Yes.
Good to know. I don't know if I can put it in words. It's been a crazy ride, and when this rebuild started, I wasn't sure what was going to happen, and now we're in the finals. I don't even know what to say.
Smitty, as we've talked about, Sue Bird, impressive to say the least in that fourth quarter, sending Seattle to the WNBA Finals. So it'll be Seattle and it'll be Washington, and another great player of the game for Sue Bird and the Storm to go up against Elena Delle Donne and that Mystics team who grinded their way here. Game one will take place Friday out west in Seattle, so the Storm get to stay at home for that one. What are you looking forward to in the WNBA Finals?
Well, I think matchups as we look at it, Christy Tolliver, Sue Bird, and then Delle Donne versus Breanna Stewart. The only thing is I hope that she can gain some more confidence with her injured knee in Delle Donne, but that should be a fantastic matchup because she's still able to put up double-doubles. Just not 100%, but this is going to be pretty good. And when you look at the Mystics, they are a gritty team that can come out and fight with Seattle. I think it's going to come down to is who can guard Breanna Stewart without being in foul trouble. And I don't know if Delle Donne, the way she's moving, will be matched up against her a lot.
Yeah, and home court advantage is going to come into play as we saw on Tuesday night for the Storm as they will have first couple of games at their place.
Yeah, and I think for sure, and I think the three ball for Seattle is potent right now. You have a lot of players being able to knock it down, and I think for the Mystics, they're going to have to slow down the pace a little bit and try to grind it out and run their offense and try to get some easy shots, a little bit more points in the paint for the Mystics if they can against the Storm.
Yeah, so game one Friday night at 9 o'clock Eastern, and of course, Smitty, you and I will be on NBA TV as soon as the game is over for complete reaction of this one. You know, the flight cross country with a couple of days, at least you have that to kind of gather yourself here. But in terms of the injury for Elena Delle Donne, do you think she can get back to her 100% self?
You know, I don't think so. And watching her up close, she's still a fantastic player. That's how good she is. She was basically playing on one leg, but able to play with her fundamentals and obviously using her high basketball IQ. She would still be able to box out and rebound the basketball. She's just not going up and catching the basketball and the rebounds at the apex. And then also if a ball is led to her and is not thrown right to her, takes her off her spot. She's losing her balance, but she's still capable of knocking down some shots and also being a threat for the Mystics. And I am worried a little bit about that flight across country, maybe a little bit of swelling in her knee.
Yeah, Seattle has won the regular season series over Washington 2-1. Again, game one, Seattle and Washington. And I tell you, if the finals are anything like the conference finals, wow, we're
fantastic year in the WNBA.
It's been amazing. A four-time WNBA champ is going into the Hall. We speak to Tina Thompson next on Game Time. On NBA TV Friday night at 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 Pacific. And one of those members is so kind to take some time to join us right here on Game Time. It is Tina Thompson, a four-time WNBA champion, a two-time gold medalist in the Olympics, and the second all-time leading scorer in the WNBA. Tina, congratulations to you. What is this week like? What's it going to be like for you in Springfield?
I hope it's like a little calmer than the preparation has been because I've just kind of been running around like a chicken with my head cut off. So I'm hoping for a little calm.
Tina, Steve Smith, when you got that call that you were going to be a Hall of Famer, can you tell me your reaction? But more importantly, tell me about Dylan's reaction when he understood that his mom would be a Hall of Famer.
I was literally overwhelmed, and I just remember myself saying, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I think that it was Sean who called me, and he was like, I don't know, why you're thanking me? You did all the work. You know, we're just excited to just kind of, to welcome you, to the family. But even to this day, it's been months now, I just can't believe it. I get a little just uncomfortable just kind of talking about it because then you start thinking about just the game and the history and what being in the Hall means. And all of the players that I have so much admiration for, and I've just grown up watching my entire life. To think that I'm going to be housed with them is just, it's unbelievable. I mean, because it's not something you think about happening for yourself. Never in all the years that I've been playing the game did I ever once write down or even think that this is, where it would all end up. It's just like, I don't know if any Hall of Famer has. Like, it's just not something you think of.
Well, Tina, that's where I wanted to go next, is to those early years in the WNBA with so much hype and so much excitement around the league today, as we've been talking about tonight on Game Time. Did you ever step back and appreciate that you were a part of something special, building something so great as you were in Houston?
In the moment, no. I think probably further along in my career, I had an understanding, just because the thought process of building the foundation was to build longevity. So when we passed year 10 and then when we passed year 15, I thought, wow, we're really creating a product that will be around for a lot of young women to look forward to. And that was our goal. So during those first years, it was build, build, build. We were very blue collar and very into, building relationships with the support of our fans and, all the people that were kind of, on the front line doing the work with us, because it was necessary for us to champion the cause of the WNBA in order for people to have the same feeling and love that we had for it.
Well, Tina, everybody's looked up to you for your game since you started at USC, and before that, we know Tina Thompson. But what I really love is the Hall of Famer Tina Thompson, how much you've given back to not only just the women's part of the game, but the entire game itself. And you look today. Talk to me about you coaching now and still giving back to the young ladies of this game. And who has been some of your coaches that inspired you to be in this position?
Well, my first coach that I was inspired by from just a life of just basketball was Cheryl Miller. I mean, being from Los Angeles and going to USC and, finding out that she was going to take the head coaching job at USC was amazing. And much like she was in her first coaching experience at USC, I'm very much kind of like in that same position. So I'm literally taking a lot from just her approach to the game. Like, Cheryl was a baller, a student of the game, the greatest of all time, in my opinion. I have still to this day not seen a player that did it in her fashion. She approached the game from a player's perspective. And that is exactly how I approach it, with my kids. I am not so far removed for them, so I don't act as though I'm not. I mean, of course, like, I'm their leader and I'm their instructor, and, I kind of have to keep them in line, but I don't forget what it was like for me to be a player and the trials and tribulations that we go through. So when they have moments where they're just kind of in a funk and not feeling so well, I know what that feels like, and I don't act like I don't. And I talk to them about my experiences and literally just try to meet them kind of where they are. And it's worked for me, and I've had success, approaching it that way. And it's for sure a lot different than a lot of coaches, but it is my way, and it's worked for me, and I'm okay with different. I've been different probably all of my career.
Well, having an HOF, Smitty, next to the name doesn't hurt in the recruiting game, that's for sure. Tina, we appreciate you taking some time, and best of luck. Congratulations. We look forward to seeing your speech Friday night right here on NBA TV.
I appreciate it, guys. Thank you for having me.
Our thanks to Tina. Next up on Game Time, we come back with one more look at a historic Tuesday in the WNBA.
They felt like they could win every game. We felt like we could win every game. We were just, I think, so evenly matched in so many ways that, like I said, that Game 5 always comes down to a couple possessions here and there. And I thought throughout the game we were those possessions were ours, and we were doing the things that needed to be done to win these games, and it just slipped away from us in that last probably 6-7 minutes, and I don't know if we just ran out a little bit of gas, and Seattle just took it to a different level, and we didn't match that on both ends.
But yeah, I mean, it's been a fantastic series. It's great for the WNBA. I think we've faced a lot of adversity, so I'm really proud of my team, and obviously losing Sancho was a big loss for us, but Steph Talbot, but we just continue to fight. It's great to see Dewana Bonner back playing, so fantastic. I mean, this girl here, I mean, pretty amazing. I mean, she's pretty special, but she's played probably her best career. I don't know, but maybe there's others, but you could say that. But amazing that the level of play that she played. BG, but look, Seattle are a very good team. They're the #1 team in the league, and they proved that tonight. And they've got Sue Bird, who I think's one of the all-time greats there, and just her experience, and Stewie playing big time, and just played hard. But it's unfortunate that only one team can move forward, because it was a great series, but it's things that we can learn from, and we build on for next year.
Well, Taurasi was good, Sue Bird even better, and great to see so many big-name athletes paying attention and watching this epic playoff run.
Yeah, you're right. Kobe, LeBron, tweeting. You had so many current players at the game from the Atlanta Hawks. A lot of those, Justin Anderson. Some old guys, Theo Ratliff, Dikembe, and myself. So the WNBA is very supported by the NBA.
Don't miss Game 1 Friday night. We'll be on afterwards.